Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
And we're going to ask you some questions. What made you want to be a firefighter?
When I was young, the house down on the end of my street burned, and so I went down there to try to help and see if I could help anyone. And when the firefighters came, I watched them put out the fire. And it was very exciting, and I thought that I wanted to do that when I grew up.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Who's the next person?
Samantha.
Samantha.
Samantha. How do you firefighters become a firefighter? How do
It's okay. It's okay. Take your time.
how do firefighters train to become a firefighter?
Thank you. So, when we decide that we want to be a firefighter, the first thing that we have to do is go to a fire academy, and we go through the fire training at the academy, and it's sort of like when someone goes into the military where they go to boot camp. It's sort of like that. So we go to school full time. It's just like your school week when you go Monday through Friday from 7 to 5 or 8 to 5. It's sort of like that. So it lasts about 3 months, and that's how we get to become a firefighter. And then after that, most firefighters go on to paramedic school so that we can take care of people who are sick.
And next is Jocelyn. Jocelyn. How old do you need to be a firefighter?
To be a firefighter, you have to be 18 years old, and you have to graduate high school with your diploma.
Oh, 18.
And then you go to fire school.
My dad is my name is Brandon. Brandon. John. Is it dangerous being a firefighter?
Yes, it can be dangerous to be a firefighter.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Oh, this is really good. Yes, How does it feel when you save someone's life?
It's very exciting. It's a very good feeling to know that you helped someone, and when they were having a very bad day, their worst day, that you were there to help them, and so that they can
Feel better?
be here with their families and their loved ones, and know that you help their family and friends too. And of course, they're very grateful. So it's a very good feeling to know that you help someone and change their life.
What tools do you have to take out the fire?
Did you say tools? Okay. So the tools, our fire truck is basically, think of the fire truck as a big toolbox. So everything on the fire truck has a certain job or thing that it does, and we have to know how to use it safely. We also have to know what tools to pick for a certain job. Just like if a plumber comes to your house to fix a faucet or something, they come in with a big toolbox. They have a bunch of tools in there, but they have to know the right one to choose to be able to do that job. So, of course, we have axes and Halligan tools. We have fire hose and fire nozzles. We have all of the gear that we wear that allows us to go inside the house, inside the smoke. We have the tools that if the door is locked or there's burglar bars, we are able to break through those to get inside. We have all kinds of saws and rescue equipment. If we go on a car wreck, we have other tools that can help pry those doors open and cut the car up if we have to get someone out of it.
Thank you. One. Silent. I like this. One silent. easy. How does the water come out of the truck?
Okay. So the fire truck hooks up to the fire hydrant that you see along the streets. So we have the big hoses that hook up to the fire hydrant and go to the fire truck. And inside the truck, there's a pump that spins around and it spins the water. And we open certain valves to send the water through smaller hoses, the ones that we can hold and move around and take inside the house. So that's how the water gets to onto the fire. It comes from the fire hydrant, goes through the fire truck where it boosts the pressure and it sends it out to whatever hoses that we need. There's a little bit of water there's a water tank inside the fire truck so that if we're not able to hook it up to a hydrant right away, we can at least start putting some water on the fire, and another fire truck will go to a hydrant and lay the hose out on the street from the hydrant to the fire truck that's already pumping the water.
Oh yeah. How long?
When we come to work, our shift starts at 7 o'clock in the morning, but we always get there a little bit earlier, so we're usually there by 6:30. And what we do is that gives us time to get our gear out, to talk to the guys who are leaving, who worked yesterday, and just get information from them to see if anything is broke that needs to be fixed, or if there's any things that need to be done around the station, or if the fire truck needs anything, if we need to clean anything or get anything ready, then we do that. And so we get started early, even though our work day doesn't really start till 7 o'clock. We get there early so that we can be ready at 7 and ready to go. And then the other crew can go home.
Then it's Lipsy. Lipsy's always no, there's hair on it. Then you just said, I was gonna say bye.
So she asked how many hours do we work, and we work on shifts. We have 3 shifts, A, B, and C, and each shift is 24 hours. So I came in this morning, my shift started at 7 a.m. So I won't actually get off of work, I won't go home or leave the fire station until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So when you guys come back to school tomorrow morning, I will still be at the fire station this whole time, and I'll be going home in the morning. So when y'all come back in to school tomorrow morning, that's when I'll actually be leaving the fire station. So we work 24 hours, and it's 3 shifts, A, B, and C. So I work, today is Tuesday, so in the morning when I leave, I go home, and I will be home, or I'll be off work Wednesday and Thursday, and then I come back Friday morning. So I'll work 24 hours again.
Carla?
Why do you have fire trucks? What?
So the reason that we have fire trucks is so that when someone calls 911, they have a fire, or they're sick, or they're hurt, or sick, maybe like in a car accident or something like that, then we can get on the fire truck and we can go to wherever they are and we can go to help them. The other question about all the tools we carry is we also carry medical equipment. We carry a heart monitor, we carry a medical bag, trauma bag, so if someone is hurt, injured, if they're bleeding, or if they're sick or something like that, we have medicine and we have equipment that we can use to help take care of them. And the ambulance always goes with the fire truck to medical calls and things like that. And so if they need to go to the hospital, we take them in the ambulance to the hospital. So that's the reason why we have fire trucks.
Christian, Christian has stage fright. Stage fright. Then it's gonna be. What do you do to help people?
What do I do to help? So our training allows us to help people that are, like I already said, hurt, they're injured, they're sick. So with our training, we're able to do a lot of things. When someone calls 911, we go to a lot of different types of calls. So, of course, everyone knows that we're firefighters, so we go to fires. And we're also, I mentioned we're also paramedics, so we also go to medical calls if someone is sick or something like that. But we also go to other types of emergencies, to car accidents, to someone who is maybe they're swimming and maybe they drown, maybe they had an accident at work, maybe they got hurt at work, maybe they fell off of a ladder, or sometimes we still get called for a cat that's stuck in the tree. So people call us for all kinds of things. So that's why our training it covers a lot of different things. There may be say for instance in your classroom, someone could start to see some smoke or smell smoke. So we might get a fire call for that. The fire alarms go off, and sometimes there's nothing wrong. The fire alarm just goes off, so we have to investigate that. But mainly, what we do, of course, is we're here to fight fires. But since the beginning of the fire service, the fire departments have come to where we do a lot of different things. We do hazardous materials. We go on bomb calls. We go on bomb threats. There could be a wreck on the highway, and there could be chemicals involved. There could be a fire involved. We just go to all kinds of things.
Jacqueline. Yeah. I can't believe, Christian, you have stage fright. Yeah. I feel like more firefighters.
Do that. Say it again.
I feel like more firefighters.
So, what do I like most about firefighters? Well, I think the biggest thing about firefighters is that there's always a new challenge that we have to face. And so it challenges your training, and it challenges your mind to think about solutions. Think about this. Whenever someone calls 911, it's because they have a problem, right? And not everybody's problem is the same. That's sort of like what I was just saying about all of what do firefighters do? Well, we do a lot of different things, and the reason we do a lot of different things, we have training in a lot of different things, is because when someone calls, we don't know what kind of problem they're going to have. So we have all of the training to help us solve their problems. So that's really what we are. We're problem solvers. And sometimes we face problems that maybe we've never really faced before. And so we see that there's a new challenge, and that inspires us to continue to our training and to continue to think of different ways to solve problems. So we may go on two identical calls, but if one little thing is just a little bit different, it may change completely how we solve that problem. So not only do we have to know how to solve that problem, but we might have a dozen different ways to solve that problem, because one little thing can change the dynamic enough to where we have to do something different.
Maya, but she's not here. How do you help the community?
How do we help? Well, we help the community by answering the 911 calls when someone has a problem. We hope to come and help them with their problem and solve that for them with those emergencies. But we also help the community with things like this, with education, with coming to schools or daycares and talking to the kids and showing them the fire trucks, answering questions, talk to them about fire safety. Have any of you already been here to when the clowns come to do the clown show?
Yeah.
So that's another way that we educate the community, and we start with you guys when you're very young. That way, as you get older and you become an adult, you remember those key safety classes that we gave you about being safe around in your home. If there's a fire, having a meeting place, checking your smoke detectors, changing the batteries, wearing your life vest if you're out at the lake. If you're around water, wear your life jacket. So we reach out to the community in those ways. We have the reading program where whoever reads the most during a certain time of the school year, when you read the most, you get to have a ride to school in the fire truck. We come and pick you up early from school and you ride to school in the fire truck. So we do those kinds of things. And then, like I said, our main job is, of course, is to be ready for all of the 911 calls that come in for anyone who has an emergency.
When we do our fire drills,
Oh, sorry.
they're the ones who train us how to have our fire drills.
I didn't remember this winter was here.
Yes, I'm learning with you.
How much do you get paid?
How much do I get paid? So in Louisville, the firefighters, when they start off, they've gone through the fire academy, they've gone through paramedic school, and when they're applying for their job and they go through the application process, when they get hired here with Louisville, they start off roughly around in the $60,000 range. So it's $60,000 per year, plus you get your benefits, your medical insurance and stuff like that.
Thank you. Jake.
Which house to go to? Okay. So when someone calls 911, it goes to the dispatchers, and the dispatchers have a bunch of computer screens that they sit in front of and they look at. So when a call comes in, when you call 911, the address automatically comes up on the screen, and it shows it on a map, and it shows where you are. Okay?
Well, if the phone burned?
If the phone burned, well, hopefully if the phone burned, the smoke detectors would have already gone off, and they would go outside to their meeting place, and then, which could be out front, by the curb, the tree, the mailbox, the car, or over at the neighbor's house. And then someone else would call next door, and they would show up as that address. So we have a very big 911 system that when anyone calls in from their home or from a cell phone, it's very, it happens very quickly. As soon as the phone call comes up, the address comes up on the computer.
Where do you sleep at?
Where do we sleep?
Yeah.
So in the fire station is almost like a house. And a lot of times we call it the firehouse, because in the firehouse we have the bay, or what looks like the garage where all the fire trucks are parked. But in the other part we have bedroom, we have kitchen, we have a dining room, we have offices where we do our paperwork and our reports. So at night, in the evening, we have our bedrooms where we go to sleep. And whenever a 911 call comes in, the speakers in the ceiling go on, they make a tone, make like a beeping sound, and the lights come on. So we know that we have to get up and go on a call. But at night, we go to bed just like you guys go to bed. The difference is that we're still at work, and we're still ready. That when we have a call come in, we jump up, we get dressed, we go out to the fire truck and the ambulance, and we go to that emergency.
Then it's Alexandra.
Which one? I'm not sure what that is.
Like turn off.
¿Qué quieres preguntarle? If you guys extinguish fires.
Is that,
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Turn off the fire, I guess.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So yes, once we get to the emergency, to the fire, we have the hydrant and the hose hooked up to the fire truck. We pull out the smaller hoses and put water through those hoses. And then if we have to break the door open, we have tools to break the door to get in. And then when we go in, we open the nozzle and we put the water on the fire.
I think that's everything. Does anybody have a last anything? I know mine is not here.
And who's gonna read it?
Oh,
Me.
do you have a question for us?
Again, you.
About his job? That you would like to ask? Okay, let me know if you come up with it. Okay? Alright, Samantha, quickly so we can.
How do you call to firefighter?
How do we talk to other firefighters? On our radio. This is our radio right here.
You kind of like to listen.
A little bit, see? Just like that. When someone talks, I can hear it right here. So even after I put on all of my firefighter gear, I still have a radio where I can hear and I can talk to other ones. So we can communicate together. That way we know what each other is doing and we know what needs to be done next. And then this is when we get out of the fire truck. There's another one in the fire truck that just stays in there. And you'll see it when we go outside to look at the fire truck. We wear headsets on our head, and that's how we talk around to each other, and we can talk on the radio.
Do you wear a suit when there's like a fire and you take out and the water comes out of the hose?
Yes, we wear our fire gear, and we'll see that outside also too. We keep it on the fire truck with us, so we get a call while we're out driving around. If a call comes in, we can stop and we can put it all on and then go to the emergency.
I have a question.
Yes.
On TV, I have seen firefighters that put something in their face.
The mask? Mm-hmm. Yes, that's on the fire truck too. We'll see that when we go outside. We'll see all of them. We can see the tools and the hose and all of the fire gear that we wear and everything like that. Has anyone ever seen a firefighter completely dressed up with the mask on and everything, like in person or?
In person.
In person.
I saw 3.
Very good. Oh, okay. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. So you're not scared of that, right? You're not scared of that?
I'm only scared a little bit.
Good.
Alright guys, we're gonna, is there anything you would like to share with us that they didn't ask you or?
No, they had very good questions.
Wait, what is your name?
Very good questions. My name is Don. Yes, so I have one question for you. So I told you earlier that on every fire truck, all of our fire trucks or fire engines, we have a water tank inside. You can't see it, but we do have a water tank inside. Hold on a minute. So does anyone know, you don't have one here. So you know how heavy a gallon of milk is, right? Or a gallon of water. Right? So, because you have that at home. You have a gallon of water or a gallon of milk, right?
Yeah.
So imagine 1 gallon, okay? in my water tank in my fire engine, how many gallons do you think is in that tank on the fire truck? Take a guess. A lot more than that.
100. 60.
Way more than that. You said 200?
300.
Did you say 200? Way more than that.
1,000.
A little less than that. 1,000 is a lot. It's closer to 1,000 than it is 200.
2,000?
Oh no, that's way more.
900.
How much?
900.
900? A little less than that. You're getting closer.
800.
Very close. Just a little more.
It's 80. 810.
He said it. 750 gallons. That's a lot of jugs of water, right? A lot of milk. Jugs of water. So 750 gallons. So our pump. So when we pump the water out and it comes out of the fire hose, 750 gallons. We can empty the water tank in about 2 minutes. So 750 gallons. We open the nozzle, in 2 minutes, it's empty.
I have a question.
So that's why fire hydrants are very important.
That's how much the fire hydrant has?
Oh no, the fire hydrant, it has water forever.
Like, never wasted?
We won't run out of water out of the fire hydrant.
Infinity.
Pretty close.
And it has a big